All right, so Aliyah, can you just start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure, Amanda. I'm Aliyah El Mansy, and I'm a visiting minister from Germany here at Bloor Street United Church.
Awesome. So how are you connected to Bloor Street?
I was here 2019, and actually I was at the university. So I had a scholarship, a research scholarship, to write a chapter of my postdoc thesis. So many people think I was affiliated to Emmanuel College, but I wasn't actually. I was affiliated to the Department for Religious Studies, because there is the professor who was my second supervisor. So that's also University of Toronto, but the Department for Religious Studies. So, and this is how I just stumbled on Bloor Street United Church because I was working every day at Robarts Library. So
Okay.
when I walked from where I live to Robarts Library, I passed several churches. And first Sunday, I thought, okay, where can I go to church? And I checked online, and Bloor Street just attracted me, and I went there for the first service, and I stayed.
Oh, that's perfect. And that was when Martha was the minister, right?
Exactly. Martha was the minister during this time. And then I went home, and well, I stayed in touch actually with a few people, so via email. But then COVID hit, and Bloor Street moved to online services. So I could join again from Germany, actually. So, and then I just like joined the services. When I was here, I also was part of the lectionary group. Suddenly I could be again part of the lectionary group. So I did this, and I also started to be Zoom host. So this is just like how the ties were, or the connection stayed. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, it's nice that you've been able to stay in touch.
Yes, it really was. So I
Okay,
came here
so
in
you
July. Yeah. Because when I
yeah.
finished university or my postdoc thesis at university, I started to do the practical training for ministry. And in Germany, it usually takes 2 years. So the last 2 years, I did the training for a ministry. And I was a supervised minister in a little town in Germany close to Frankfurt. And at the end of our training, we have the opportunity to do for 6 months something different. So most people stay in Germany. We can work in a hospital as a chaplain, or at Frankfurt Airport. There's also chaplaincy. Some people go to some of our centers like the Ecumenical Center, or also do just like very different things, just to experience something else. And we can also go abroad to another community of faith. And usually we are sent to German-speaking congregations, of course. There's also one here in Toronto. But because I know Bloor Street United Church, I asked my church if they could imagine maybe that I can go to this congregation. And they agreed, and so here I am.
So what have you been doing since you've been here?
Mhm. Different things. So I read a lot. So just like to understand a little bit more, because one thing I was interested in, how you do your transition work. So it's really perfect for me that Douglas agreed that I could come, because this was a big part of it, because the minister, of course, needs to agree. So I'm very grateful for that. And I was interested in his work as an interims minister. So this is really like a huge part of what I'm doing here, like watching and observing what Douglas does. He explains a lot. He gave me a lot to read, so I can gain a better understanding. And also, they included me in the transition team, not just really to sit in and just observe and learn. This is my role here mostly. So this is one big part. The other part is worship. So I'm part of the worship team. And like in summer, people might remember that I just like learn step by step to write a prayer, to be part of the service. Because like sometimes you can't imagine, but of course I participated in your services, so I know how the order of services. But when you do yourself the service, when you conduct the service, it really is a different experience, because you need to be aware of so many things. So this was really perfect in summer, that I could just like slowly get used to that. And on the 3rd of November, I had my first service I prepared and had the lead. And there will be another one, so I'm already excited about that, on the 8th of December. That's the second Advent. So this is the second part. And the third part is pastoral and community care. So I'm working closely together with Nancy and Tina. And yeah, I'm mostly visiting people, and this is something I really enjoy. And I just try to fit in as many visits as possible, but it can be a little bit hard during the week sometimes.
Yeah, there's lots of people to connect with and lots to learn and do.
Yeah, and there are meetings, committee meetings, other obligations. So yeah, it can be like a little bit difficult sometimes, but I'm trying my best here.
Yeah, for sure. What are some things that you've learned since you've been here?
There are really so many different things, and people keep asking me about the situation in Germany and the situation the church is in, and what is different and what is similar when I compare it to Canada. And there are actually like many similarities and some differences. So I think we are in a similar situation because our membership numbers are declining. That's the same case in Germany. So fewer and fewer members. And also that we have like only few young people in church, and that the resources are dwindling. So with resources, I don't only mean finances, but in Germany, this is really a huge issue also, our finances. But also we have not enough ministers, and we also don't have enough volunteers anymore. So the situation is very similar.
Churches in Germany amalgamating then, since the membership numbers are going down? Do you see a lot of that?
Yes and no. So our approach is like in German, like a little bit different. So I think when you compare the United Church as an organization and my church on this bigger level, there are really similarities. So they both have strategic papers, and they're trying to be more aware of racial justice, social justice, LGBTQI plus issues and questions. And I think like in this area, the United Church is really way ahead of the German church. And we could really learn something from you in this area. And another similarity is that I think we are both influenced by the Anglican Church in Great Britain, because they have this model of fresh expressions of faith. So little projects, different forms of communities and congregations. So, but actually in Germany, this is something they do a lot and try to encourage a lot. So there are so many projects, and I didn't see that here so much, but that simply might be because, I don't know, I was looking in the wrong places sometimes, you know, so I don't know. But I think one thing for sure is different, that over the last 3 years, this idea of pop-up events and drop-in events, drop-in weddings, drop-in baptisms really took off in Germany. So there are really many events just like offering this to people. And also something different is that I think now we have 4 offices in bigger German cities like Berlin, Hamburg, Frankfurt, and Cologne. And they're trying to address people who are like, who have a connection to faith, Christian faith, but not to a church. So they try to address this need to have a Christian ritual, a blessing, but without a church. So this is really huge in Germany at the moment. And this is something I couldn't see here. But I think like what you're aiming at is like the congregational level, and there are really differences. So during my time here and also before with Bloor Street, I had the feeling that you really try to define your identity as community of faith, and that you try to think about your mission, your goals, and you're really working hard on this as a whole congregation and also in smaller teams and on the committees. So you reflect and you try to figure out who you are and who you want to be. And this is different in Germany. So we are mostly, I would say, moving more along tasks and steps necessary because of financial pressure. So this is just like a different mindset. And so you ask about amalgamations. Yeah, they are happening, but actually there's a whole different concept, at least in my church at the moment. So they call this a regional local approach. So they're trying not to amalgamating, but to create bigger congregations with a ministry team. And ministry team doesn't only include ministers, but also church musicians and other people. So just maybe for a better understanding, if you look to Frankfurt, for example. So Frankfurt, there are around 60 congregations, and they now joined in 10 like small little groups. Just imagine you would take Toronto and all the United Churches here, and you would just divide them in different neighborhoods and areas to join together. But not joining together in all matters. It's more like that they should or try to figure out what their collective mission as church is, but still consider their unique local circumstances. So this is our task here. So it's a little bit different than yours, I think.
That's really interesting to hear that context.
Yeah, if people are interested, so if you are interested, people are who are watching this, just ask me and we can talk about this a little bit more.
What are some of your biggest takeaways?
So I think I could really list a lot of things because I learned so much, because also the committees and also Douglas were so generous in including me, and so I could really learn. I learned a lot here. But when I'm thinking, it's really, I think the most important things I learned is by spending time with the people in the congregation, actually. So like I had so many good and amazing conversations, I don't know, about politics, feminism, nature, social justice, you name it, everything, because people are so diverse also in the congregation in their interests. So that was really, I enjoyed that a lot. And like people took me on walks, to concerts and events. They opened their homes. They let me stay, in their homes and gave me a place to stay. And so often people had to explain Canadian culture and traditions to me, like so many things I didn't understand or get. And I also tried a few things like food-wise, and some were really great, and some things like I would say pumpkin pie isn't for everybody, like. So there are some things, yeah, they're nice, but I don't need to repeat the experience. So this is something I really enjoyed. That was really important for me, because this is something, you can't read in a book. This is something you can only experience. And the members in the congregation made this possible, because they made me feel welcome and really at home. And this was really a great experience for me. If you want to put it in a nutshell, like what I learned here and what I'm taking home is an experience I didn't make, but my sister and my mom made. So my sister and her family and my mom, they joined on Zoom for a service, one of the worship services. And in the beginning, they were really like a little bit afraid, like they were afraid maybe that's awkward. We don't know these people. Maybe it's very, I don't know, like stiff. And they were just like a little bit unsure and insecure. And when the service was over, I talked to my sister on the phone. And, she was really so amazed. And she said that she felt so comfortable, and not only her, but only my niece and nephew. And they're teenagers, and teenagers, usually they don't like church that much, but they really liked it. And this was because of the people. So like you made them feel welcomed in the service. And you were just yourself, like chatting away in the chat. I know that you were Zoom host, Amanda, so this is also thanks to you. And they really had the feeling to join a family here. And I think this is really special because, you know, they don't know you. This was their first experience with you. And this is something I would really like you and the congregation to know, that you can feel people at home, that you are welcoming. And this was also a sign for me, like you can be in committees and talk about concepts and strategies. But, you know, at the end of the day, you are the church, every single one of you. And it's up to you to be affirming, welcoming, generous, attentive, just, you know, to be the lovely people you are, and how I know you. So, and this is something I take away. That's my biggest takeaway.
And when are you here until? How long are you in Canada?
I'm here until the end of December. So really the 31st of December, my flight goes back to Germany. So I arrive there at the 1st of January. And then I will start to work in my own congregation. So I already got a placement, and I will be ordained in February. And I hope that I can send a picture of that.